I will say the player I have my eyes on in Game 3 is gonna be TalkingTrees. TalkingTrees, a veteran of the Heroes of the Storm competitive scene, was slated to be an HGC player in 2019 after winning the Crucible with Scythe Esports, a former teammate of mine for a short period of time. That is a very skilled player right here, and I can't help but feel like TalkingTrees is going to show us something special.
I'm interested to see what the draft influence is going to be from such a veteran player. You know, just bringing in those deep strats. If there's anything to be unlocked here. And I've got to notice, even on Cursed Hollow, Falstad is up.
Indeed, the Fraud Father is still available. Fraud Father is still getting through the ban phase. I can't help but feel like we're going to see it unless there's been some sort of gentleman's agreement. Yeah. Never mind, there's the Falstad picked up. And I gotta say, Crush, you're talking to me about TalkingTrees with a veteran influence on the team. And yeah, I know I just said that he was a veteran, but I'm also remembering that in our games, this was the same guy who was like, go, 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 these guys are plat, go, go, go. That was about his contribution to the comms. Alright, so I fully expect something similar as we go into game number
that's just
30.
Research, right? You've got to know where your enemies are at.
Regardless of the enemy ranks, that was a classic call from TalkingTrees. These guys are plat. Go, go, go. I expect to see something similar. Brightwing Diablo taken out for the blue side here. Hebi securing that global. Hebi, another strongly, consistently competitive healer player. Actually made it very far in Heroes of the Dorm, taking it to the finals in Collegiate Esports Championship 2019, before eventually falling to the champions Rutgers University at the time. And now May and Stukov, a lot of area control and CC being picked up, and both teams having a global.
I like the boss control over for the red team right now. Both teams do have a global. I wonder if Dehaka is going to actually make it through this ban phase. It's something that we see a lot on Cursed Hollow here, and something that can really move into that back line, though against a Brightwing that can be a little bit difficult to pull off. Nonetheless, another Zeratul ban coming through.
Another Zeratul ban, and just like before, I saw a Zeratul first man, and I thought that was indicative of an early Falstad pick, Fraud Father pick right there, because Zeratul is a hero that's able to uniquely stick onto Falstad. It doesn't matter if you barrel roll away, it doesn't matter if you gust Falstad off of you, whatever you do, Zeratul off of you, he's got the Vorpal Blade, he's got the Wormhole, he's got the Seeker in the Dark, he's got the Might of the Nerazim. Zeratul is going to stick to the chicken, and he is going to shred him alive. Intelligent banning coming out from the red side here to take away one of Falstad's largest counters in the game. However, we do see TalkingTrees pick up the Tychus, and Nano, famous European Grandmaster there. Famous is stretching it a bit. Grandmaster European player, Nano, I believe is who we're looking at, picking up the Chromie. And Dehaka, there you go!
I did a call. Ooh, Hanzo coming on through from TVCoffee, going to provide that extra reach to try to match this Chromie here. It's important in these drafts that you don't get caught at a range deficit. So, like, if you've got the Chromie on the other side and you're stuck with something like a Falstad Jaina, you're going to have a bad time. But the Hanzo across from the Chromie is going to make sure that the battle lines being drawn do not heavily favor the blue team. I love that last pick.
Yeah, I gotta say, Hanzo, I know that's a favorite for Coffee right there after talking with him a bit. And that's a favorite for me too, anytime I'm on Cursed Hollow. Cursed Hollow has all of these easy scatter angles. You've got easy targets to give you never outmatched cooldown reduction on your scatter arrow. You have vision control. It's an interrupt on the enemy channel. You can see the flanks from where they're coming. You have multiple pokes, and really all of your basic abilities are pokes for the enemy tribute channel. Hanzo is a classic Cursed Hollow hero. And here I gotta say, I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of both of these drafts at the moment. Nothing particularly spicy coming out from either team, but certainly very threatening, and I'm not ready to call either team being significantly advantaged from the draft phase.
I think the big wild card to me right now is actually Diablo. Like, can Diablo access the Falstad, access the Hanzo in these fights? Because if Diablo can't do it, that's going to be pretty tough for blue team to actually find the damage and the killing power that they need.
Diablo, always a bit of an enigmatic point right there. A lot of it coming down to individual skill of the Diablo player. as well as team coordination to follow up. But let's get into it as we have on the right side here. SexyExy, our caster later today, actually I believe after this series, coming up on the May. MasonBlaze going to be our Stukov. Ukkii, still don't know? I don't know, maybe I won't ever. Playing that Dehaka. Coffee on the fraud father himself, Falstad and Drakyr, I hope. That's what I'm going to go with on the Hanzo.
Over on the blue side, we've got TalkingTrees on that Tychus, Nano playing the Chromie, Heavy on that Brightwing, C2D2 playing the D.Va, and ZeroX on the Diablo.
And I gotta say, Krushinator, he won't tell you. Oh my god, never mind. Hold on, I'm getting interrupted. As we see already, First Blood, C2D2 taking big damage at the same time. Gonna get slapped by MasonBlaze. Will be able to walk away, but that is a lightning fast First Blood. Alrighty. And blue team.
I mean, yeah. Chromie just right from level 1 putting out a ton of hero damage. It's, you know, it's tough to move into, and it's showing the power of that pick even post-nerf.
Blue team sponsored by Popeyes as they make the fried chicken with the quickness here. As they're stepping up into our lane, ZeroX getting zoned off of the XP globes by Coffee. Smart decision there. Chromie now. Nano stepping onto blue side as we see no similar response from the red team at the moment. Offlaners duking it out in the top lane. TalkingTrees getting tongued by Ukkii. Not the damage trade that he wants to take at the moment.
Invade.
Red side, what is this invade?
SexyExy's moving on up. Drakyr putting out the Sonic Arrow. We've got ourselves a camp invade. Brightwing could come on in here, is going to show up. Here comes ZeroX as well to try to get on this point. That silence circle is going to be in all sorts of trouble. Diablo manages to get through it. Oh no, C2D2 fully taken out, and Red is going to complete this invade. And this is something I'm starting to see more and more. Teams are evaluating their level 1 comps and deciding whether they want to go for their own camp or their opponents.
And I gotta say, that's one of the strengths of having multiple globals on your team, is the fact that you can go for those invades deep in enemy territory and barely miss any soak. You know that you can bring members into the invade as quickly as you want, but not only that, players can global away from the invade. Coffee actually not missing out on barely any top lane soak in the process of going for that invade, gets home from back to top lane as quickly as possible, now shredding out these siege giants, utilizing the extra damage onto minions, monsters, and mercenaries from Lightning Rod. And SexyExy stepping forward here actually gets caught up by ZeroX, and that's going to be a second kill for blue team.
Not expecting the counter invade. Blue coming across, they pick up the kill onto May, and that's going to be enough for them to go and grab the bruisers of the red team. So a little tit for tat there on the map as we set up for our first tribute up in the top lane.
I gotta say, I don't think through all of my thousands of games of HOTS, I've seen two teams trade back and forth their bruisers before first objective. That's a bit of a new one for me. But I am loving it here. Intelligent scouting of the bush from Coffee. He knows, hey, that bush that looks empty probably ain't empty, especially considering where the enemy team just was. Ooh, unstoppable from SexyExy is going to stop ZeroX's charge. Not able to pull off the Blizzard combo. However, TalkingTrees taking a lot of damage, is in some trouble. He's going to get saved by Brightwing.
TVCoffee jumping on up there, trying to get the lightning rod as Ukkii gets flipped over by ZeroX. Diablo, look at the tongue from Dehaka. Picking up the kill onto Diablo, who's only 47 souls right now. TalkingTrees, gets dismounted. Just the barrel roll there. TalkingTrees trying to turn it around. But that's a double kill coming on through for the red team. And it looks like...
Ukkii, stop it!
Point.
Ukkii.
C2D2 getting away there in the mid, but the tribute control still not favoring red. Look at that time trap. That's just BM.
And I gotta say, Ukkii with the Mr. Fantastic level reaches with these tongues at the moment. Just landing them absolutely pixel perfect as we see both teams splitting it out here. Falstad able to get some soak onto the bottom lane, taking advantage of the globals for the red side. SexyExy, though, however, dropping very low, is at a stun angle for Diablo, able to pop the crystallize, but not going to be able to save their own life. Ukkii now dragging Diablo away. Not going to have too much of an impact on the fight. Falstad simply going back to the bottom lane, but this will be a blue side capture after a minute and a half of contesting for the first objective of the game.
I'm trying to remember, I believe it was either during the week or last weekend, I was watching Bahamut do these, and the first point was picked up after, I believe, 8 minutes of contest after the point had spawned. And that was looking like one of these here, but Blue doing a great job of getting back onto the point, getting the kills they needed. And it won't take them 8 minutes, just a couple, and they pick up their first curse point.
All right, and we see here red side going in heavy top pressure at the moment as they have their globals in middle and bottom here, knowing that at any time this can be 5 members in that top lane. Now Tychus taking out Siege Camp without a quickly similar response from red side. Hanzo likely going to be a little bit late to show up to this first objective, especially lacking serrated arrows at level 4, opting for the wave clear of explosive arrows in its stead. Ukkie stepping forward, not going to get a tongue off thanks to a well-timed polymorph from Heavy. ZeroX now grabbing those XP globes, both teams vying to get to level 10, but red side a little bit closer thanks to this mid-minion wave. However, C2D2 caught without a mech, and on the other side of the map from this, it's just going to be an easy red side capture. Blue team wants their boss instead.
Blue goes straight for the boss. They're trying to get control of this. With that being down level 10, they do manage to get their 10 off of D.Va and lane. Red, with the recognition, moves on to their own boss on the top right side, and we're going to have ourselves a little trade on the boss lanes. We'll see if Blue moves up for the defense or if they push in. It looks like they're going up to grab their bruiser camp, so I'm guessing this is going to be a mostly defensive play here from our two teams.
Yep, blue team, like you said, backing off to their bruiser camps here. Kind of just taking stuff off of the map at the moment. You don't want to be the team to take boss and not take the other boss, but there isn't a hugely pressing need to immediately push with this boss right now. However, I will say, into a Dehaka, he's not the most exceptional base defense, and I feel like maybe some more immediate pressure could have been applied. However, both teams not particularly devoting a lot of resources into boss lane at the moment. Tychus currently in top lane, not quite at the objective. C2D2 getting tongued away will get the Brightwing response, as well as the polymorph landing out onto SexyExy, gets zoned out, walking out of there. Now, boss being cleared out by both teams, however, red side notably closer to this next objective for the tribute spawn.
Objective is spawning in the sort of mid to bottom side. C2D2 does not have a mech available. Dragonair is going to come on out. The time stop is going to try to save D.Va for now, as Ukkie getting peppered up by those Dragon's Rats.
So much
C2D2
damage going out onto C2D2. SexyExy also forced to pop Crystallize at the moment. D.Va mech will go away, gonna get a lot of charge for it back up again here off of this minion wave, but not quite enough to have it for next team fight. Blue team, however, those bruisers that they took earlier instead of pushing boss, now becoming relevant in the mid lane pressure at the moment. TVCoffee stepping up very forward aggressively, not gonna get flipped into towers by ZeroX, and that is an easy blue side capture, not even a contest from the red side there, just like before. This particular objective spot, so difficult to contest as the enemy team. Both teams electing to just simply give it up and worry about the more neutral spawn points.
Has the stasis.
He's gonna be alright. It's a Dehaka. And now we see Drakyr coming out to defend the bottom lane. Falstad pressuring in onto ZeroX, actually gonna zone out ZeroX completely in pursuit of those stacks of the lightning rod bonus damage. SexyExy and MasonBlaze taking their sweet time with that tank and healer DPS to take out their own bruiser camp. Ukkie and Drakyr clearing out bottom lane. Neither team particularly far ahead of the other. It's a fairly even game.
Blue is just staying in the bushes right now, trying to bait red into leaving. They're going to show now, but it's just Hanzo and Stukov here for the defense. And one thing I wanted to point out about that temporal loop, there is no cleanse coming on out from the Stukov. Now, May and Dehaka are going to be able to shed that no problem, but the less sturdy members of the red team, if they step too far up, that temporal loop has a surprising amount of range.
Temporal loop has a surprising amount of range for sure, and with the ability to offer increased cooldown reduction onto Chromie's abilities, it's a virtual guarantee that Chromie will always have a combo onto the temporal loop target. With a notable lack of cleanse on the red side, red team has to make sure that they interfere with the temporal loop in some other way, which they have the tools for, either through engages or gusts or even just their own counter engage. Coffee now flanking in, joining the team. That's going to be an ice wall into 3 members of the blue team.
SexyExy going to separate them. The Dragonair are going to come on out with the Stukov silence. Draken laser drill is dropped and taken out. There is the loop going to land onto May, and the Dragon's Breath is enough to take down SexyExy as ZeroX. It's being chased out by TVCoffee. Heavy is trying to get the channel here, and it looks like we're going to have a curse going over to the blue team.
Blue team taking out 3 of the first 4 objectives so far. MasonBlaze slapping away blue side. And Tychus able to consistently shred out the Mei in these fights. Diablo also getting those consistent wall stuns here. A little bit of punishes happening so far, and like I said, that's part of the problem when you lack a cleanse healer. If the enemy team is able to shred apart whoever they can get their hands on, it can be a little bit difficult to negate that. Now TalkingTrees stepping up very forward, very aggressively, instantly clearing out the red side minions. That's a big chunk of soak, but also extends the lifespan of their own minion wave.
TVCoffee is trying to chase out this Chromie, but the timeout just lasts for so long. D2D2 was able to come on up and help out. It was looking like a pick there for Red, but the level 11 talent for Chromie coming up big.
Yeah, timeout, you pop it when you get jumped on. Your teammates are going to have plenty of time to show up. You can pop it, read a book, read a couple books, get through One Piece in its entirety, start a book club about it, get through Game of Thrones, and maybe by then, timeout will be about halfway done. Your teammates will show up, and you'll have the peel necessary to get in through here. Drakyr now getting zoned out a bit, looking to clear enemy siege. Blue team going to fall back likely towards their bruiser camp here, setting up for stronger late game push. They've now opened up a lot of the map, gotten those consistent side bolts, side catapults, and they are indeed actually going over to their boss, has now come up. They're now on this red side and not quite completely on it. They are heading in that direction, but being a little bit skeptical. And by the time they get there, blue team are already be done.
SexyExy catches the time trap. Chromie going to go ahead and pop that. And the boss is taken. We got an engage here. ZeroX is trying to pin Mei. The Unstoppable comes out. Dragon Arrow in response as C2D2 manages to pop that mech. MasonBlaze trying to move back as ZeroX was looking for a wall pin. Now Nano and TalkingTrees is starting to move forward. Red looking for a counter engage. Ukkii taking big damage off that drag onto Diablo. Drakyr working on the outside versus TalkingTrees. And look at that Blizzard. Oh, the boosters have been just barely available to get C2D2 on out of there. Very back and forth. But meanwhile, in all that back and forth, the boss is clearing out the bottom lane.
Yeah, blue team very happy with how that fight turned out at the moment. If they go even after taking the boss, then things are good. Because now, as it stands, Coffee, forced to actually fly back into his own lane for the defense here, is not able to global in to join his team and will instead have to rotate without a mount if he's even going to come, and we see that happen right here. And now actually foregoing a lot of defense on bottom lane, gonna give up a lot of damage on the bottom. Ice Wall coming out onto multiple members and zoning the rest for the blue team. Diablo getting tongued, rooted, everything. Ukkii taking so much damage in the meantime, will go down. Both teams dropping a member. Diablo did have souls, however. Heavy trying to blink out, not gonna be enough. Time Trap hits onto 4 heroes. It's currently a 1-for-1 at the moment, but Diablo is still on his way back, not gonna be here for a while. TalkingTrees finds himself in a blizzard, is able to dash away. Arrow does not connect, and C2D2 dropping down as well as TalkingTrees. 4 members of blue side killed in that fight. Diablo only just now showing back up, but by the time he did, his team's already down. Blue side did forfeit their own bottom keep as a result of the play there. Falstad forced to join his team maybe a little bit earlier than he would have liked in order to save that keep. Blue side has got to be feeling kind of okay with that. Yes, they did get quad killed, almost completely wiped by the red side, but hey, they got a keep out of it. They're not down a whole lot of experience. It's an okay result to say the least. They're taking their own siege. They're going to defend against this top boss, and now still a keep advantage for blue.
They'll take what they can get for sure, but SexyExy showed up really big there. A huge ice wall. Great timing on that blizzard and just turning around that fight, forcing Nano to move up. And just, yeah, incredible defense there from Red. They do lose that keep. That's, you know, credit to blue team for timing that out the way that they did. We'll see if Red can take that team fight win and turn something around on this map.
Now Tychus sitting here, TalkingTrees camping the bush, possibly unknowingly near multiple members of the red team here. As Dehaka we see in the bottom side, ZeroX stepping forward. Yeah, but hold on a second, ZeroX combo to Coffee! Coffee, oh!
Oh, it actually, was that, I think...
Hold on, I'm looking at that death recap. That was indeed a Tychus frag grenade, barely getting the overkill. However, Melting Point would have likely secured it if the direct damage had not done so itself. Quarterback starting to shine through for Tychus with that extended range. Barely not able to save himself for Coffee right there. Highly unfortunate, as this means they will not get their tribute at the moment, lessening their window that the red side will be able to use their experience advantage. Blue team now very likely to be able to take this to an even 20-on-20 game as the late game moves forward here. Falstad with another 17 seconds left until his respawn. Blue side getting some mid-side soak here, and they're actually looking for a push wall in equal talent tiers, it seems. Nah, they're backing off.
Dehaka going to move back in that top lane just in case. Drakyr clearing out that bottom side, and Red is in an unusual position where they're ahead on XP, but they can't really move out onto the map. They're just trying to let these waves push into them for the most part, find their 20s, and then find their next engagement. Bosses still have quite the timer. Bottom boss up in about a minute here. We'll see whether Blue can get they've got the bottom lane control very much locked in on their side, so Red is going to have to really move out onto the map if they want to have control and vision of that boss pit.
SexyExy actually surprisingly not getting comboed by the Diablo, does catch TalkingTrees in the ice wall, zoning out Nano a little bit. C2D2 forced to use the self-destruct on the mech ahead of this next objective fight. And if Red Team gets this, they will be able to get their first curse of the game, significantly, notably up level 20 here. Blue Team lacking in tools to be able to contest it. They were starving to get that pick right there in order to be able to contest this next tribute. But unfortunately, things not quite lining up as they wanted it to. Trees! Oh, Uki all up on him. That's going to be a drag.
There it is. Great chase there. Dehaka showing up at exactly the right time. SexyExy covering the alternate escape. And Blue just has to back off. We're going to have a red curse here.
This is red curse. This is level 20. This is 5v4.
Now, if you're red, do you go for this? Like, you've got the curse. Traditional knowledge says you don't take the boss, but you've got to take it off the map with the player advantage, right?
Looks like that is indeed going to be the red side call right here. With notably lacking a minion wave in any lane at the moment, opting not to go for the push, instead as Blue Team, who's probably fully aware of what red side is up to at the moment, instead looking to get as much push pressure out as they can in the mid lane. And there's one thing very notably true about this map when you take Mercenaries, is that Mercenaries' health pools are not reduced by the curse. So if you have a bruiser in front of your minion wave, that can actually keep the minion wave alive much longer than under normal circumstances while cursed by the enemy team. Red side now pushing without a minion wave in mid lane, as well as having a boss open in bottom fort. And realistically, red side is not going to be taking any keeps here, so win conditions are still a little bit lacking at the moment. Very likely, if red side is going to win, it's going to be coming from a top boss later after winning another consecutive fight, but blue side getting a little bit of harm reduction out of the way through the usage of this bruiser camp. Smart timing with the pushes, electing to realize that the enemy team would not gank them in the mid lane. And now blue side defending against this boss here. Red side coming in for the push on bottom keep.
Trying to move around safely. ZeroX has that invisibility, so the invisible friends of Brightwing are up and ready. That's going to keep blue off of the mini-map, most notably. So red is going to have to be wondering where blue is at all times. Top boss is coming up in 10 seconds here. Red is going to try to set up. They've got the push in the top lane to force blue to move in through the jungle. Blue right now is sticking around in their back siege, and red is going to jump straight onto this boss.
I think that this siege call, it's going to make them a little bit late to the boss, and maybe late enough to just actually decide that this is going to go over to red side instead, as we see blue team now showing up as the boss is about to be finished. A little bit awkward with their engage, and that's going to be a free capture for Coffee right there. Icewall once again catching just Tychus as Dehaka has now joined the team. Dragon Arrow not going to hit, I don't think. Wind Tunnel, however, continually zoning out the blue team. TalkingTrees dropping very low, will get saved by Brightwing. Falstad caught out by ZeroX yet again. It's like a replay of First Blood as we see Diablo get tongued by Uki. Heal Hellgate out of there, and that's only 2 kills for blue team. No death so far for blue as they continue to move in. Shadow Charge actually interrupted by flailing swipes from MasonBlaze. Beautiful timing. Bullseye going to continue the peel. Red team now licking their wounds, walking out of it. But hey, all of the maps are off the table. Blue team not able to take any bosses as a result of this play. Going to get some damage onto their top side now. Blue team backing off, clearing their lanes, and this is going to be a reset for the red side. Both teams coming into the next part of this game with basically a clean slate.
Unbelievable turnaround there from blue. TalkingTrees caught in that ice wall. I thought for sure red was surging through there with that boss for a possible victory, but great healing there from the Brightwing, great repositions and time traps coming on out from Nano. And just like you said, this basically amounts to a reset. Red had all the lane pressure they could want, but they lose 2 members and blue fights their way back onto this map.
Blue now with superior control of this tribute area right here, looking to make it 2 out of 3. Red side just barely starting to move toward this curse, but without the watchtower, without the vision control into multiple stealth heroes, not really going to have a consistent, reliable chance, as the Siege Giant has 4 hit points in the top lane. And now red side moving forward here, pushing in with this Bruiser Camp. They know that 20 spell armor, excuse me, is going to be a significant boon. Pings are coming out to stay with it. Hanzo wary of a flank, however, now starting to join his team, but Bruisers will be cleared out, and the spell armor field is no more.
Yeah, I think Blue was thinking about moving in there, but like you said, that 20 spell armor makes ganks very, very difficult. And now it's going to be red moving around, skulking around these bushes, seeing if they can find an engaged, find a possible invade. As this Bruiser Camp is now being taken, TVCoffee is going to try to scout over the wall. They see ZeroX. Diablo escaping through that little mini tunnel to get away from that blizzard.
Both teams just exchanging shots back and forth right here. Blue side now going to look to push with Bruisers, actually shifting down towards boss pit. Coming in for the flank on mid, going to attempt to jump red side as they clear. ZeroX coming into the backline. That's going to be Apocalypse combo onto Drakyr. Wind Tunnel looking for the peel, however. ZeroX sticking into it. Actually will jump right into the Wind Tunnel. Going to be forced out, hellgating away from the enemy team. Dragon Arrow for the follow-up. Brightwing Z has been used. C2D2 mech explosion in the middle of the enemy team. Red team now backing up as a response. Flailing Swipe will knock away self-destruct, however. Ukkii getting time trapped. Oh, and that's going to be a second time loop actually as well. SexyExy deep in the middle of things. There's so much damage going back and forth. D.Va in the middle of it, not quite able to finish off Ukkii. Wow, Bullseye lands onto C2D2 somehow. And ZeroX running away. SexyExy dropping very low in pursuit of this. Oh, that's actually a double combo coming out from ZeroX with the cooldown resets. 2 for 2, kind of 2 for 1 so far, 1 for 1 once Diablo comes up, really. MasonBlaze with a beautiful virulent reaction onto C2D2 Polymorph, interrupting the aggressive forward combo from Drakyr. That's not going to be another kill for red side here. Both teams want to take this next trip. It's now a 4-on-4.
No May for one side, no Tychus for the other. We'll see who has the advantage. Dehaka's actually back in the base right now. Red being forced to move back as C2D2 warding away with that defense matrix. TVCoffee is going to get the gust in, but the Chromie damage comes out nonetheless. It's a blue curse. It's a dead Falstad. And we're going to see blue moving down towards the bottom lane here.
May's still down for another 17 seconds. Tychus is about to come up and rejoin his team well on the other side of the map. It's currently a 4-on-3, about to be a 4-on-4. I think that this call to go for core may be a little bit premature from blue in favor of clearing out the lanes here, as they are now about to be in an equal numbers situation. However, those side lanes are pushing in, not committing fully to the core, instead going for the kill on Diablo, which does land.
Goodness.
Ice Wall not going to be in time. Dehaka gets comboed out. Hellgate onto SexyExy here. Flailing Swipes will be able to provide a little bit of peel, but this is now a 5-on-3, much more favorable for blue team as they continue to move in and pressure this core. Dragon Arrow doesn't land onto C2D2. Highly unfortunate. Stukov getting full comboed out here. He's going to be fine for the moment, but this core is going down rapidly.
Core going to be shredded here. Blue with the pressure. The lanes meet and the game ends. Nice job by blue.
Very well done in the late game there by blue side. I couldn't help but feel like both teams had a realistic chance to take that game at all phases of it. They were equal for the vast majority of the game there, and it ultimately just came down to the result of a few back and forth fights. Just brilliant stuff.
I was not expecting Dehaka to go down so quickly, but the domination pick there by ZeroX, just the stun, the follow-up, the restun. Dehaka just never had the opportunity to pop all that survivability.
Yeah, even with Dehaka's essence, the ability to go into stasis, it doesn't matter if you're just consecutively CC'd, which is what a team with Diablo Brightwing can absolutely do to you. Even with Tychus as well. Tychus is a massive part of being able to shred through frontline, especially frontline being held in place via CC. That was excellently played in the late game from blue side there, who I admit at times looked a little bit shaky. But again, able to keep that mental fortitude up, keep that consistency through, and now we're going to pull up the stats and talents from that game. Chromie, 0 deaths, 90,000 hero damage.
Hard to deny the power there. We still see, I mean, Proper Greeting still taking on 7, Time Walker's Pursuit still taking on 1. Chromie, I mean, the build isn't really changing. You need that vision control. You need to rely on the CC coming out from your team, and you can still dish out the damage.
Yeah, I gotta say, Chromie, Diablo, really any skill shot plus Diablo, at least at some level comes down to coordination. Are you able to communicate well on your timing of your flips so as to enable your team to guaranteed land your skill shots? Because as anybody who's played with Diablo knows, that combo can lead to some problems with some miscommunication between your teams. My dogs are very angry. Give me just a second to look back into that.